Wow, so June 17, 2018, a Space Force branch, a part of the United States military. So President Trump, as it says on this website, military.com, President Donald Trump has directed the Pentagon to create a Space Force as a new sixth military branch to oversee missions and operations in the space domain. So what exactly does this mean? As of right now, there is five military branches. So we have United States Army, United States Marine Corps, we have the United States Air Force, we have the United States Navy, and we have the United States Coast Guard. And now they want to add a Space Force. So for those of you guys who don't know, in the Air Force, they do have some kind of, I don't know the exact name, but a part of the Air Force deals with, like a small part of the Air Force deals with stuff that happens in space. But with this new directive, apparently we're going to have this separate branch. And as President Trump, put it, separate but equal. So it's going to be another branch, y'all, like Space Force. You know, one thing that does get me though is like, many people I can already see are judging this, and it's like, yo, what happened in the 60s? We had JFK, a great, outstanding president. Well, I wasn't alive then, so honestly, I can't really attest to that. But, you know, he got us into space, or if anything, propelled the idea and asked Congress.
Now it is time to take longer strides. Time for a great new American enterprise.
But to send someone, a man, to the moon and to actually land on the moon by the end of the decade.
Before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
Now, America, wow, like, and now we want to have a Space Force for them, like, into the actual, like, space? Like, this stuff is crazy, man. And I know many people are judging this idea and they're just hating on the idea, but, like, think about it. What happens if something does pop off in the future, 60 years from now, and nobody was dreaming about making a force for space? You know you have to dream big, or you're not going to go anywhere in life. You know, this might not have any comparison, or it might have a lot of, like, it might compare actually a lot to this. But mankind used to just be playing with rocks and sticks. We used to play with sand and dirt and mud. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have iPhones. We didn't have smartphones. We didn't have glass. Do you think back then they thought that we would be driving in cars or could even fathom an idea of going over 200 miles or jumping out of a plane? No. So like, you gotta set your brain, your mind, your thoughts apart from where you are now and think about the future, because nothing is impossible in this world. Think about it. People can fly from, forget flying. You can call someone in California and be all the way in Japan, and the call will go just like that. You just have to make sure that you have dreams. You got to separate your mind from where you are now, like I said, and think about the future. And that's why I think honestly the Space Force, when we get more news, I will talk about it more, but I think it honestly is a great idea or a great concept, but it just depends on where they're going to take this. Here's some excerpts from his speech, President John F. Kennedy's speech. It is the most important decision that we make as a nation. But all of you have lived through the last 4 years and have seen the significance of space, hashtag the Soviet Union, Sputnik. Comment down below if you actually know what I'm talking about here. And I've seen the significance of space and the adventures in space, and no one can predict with certainty what the ultimate meaning will be of mastery of space. John F. Kennedy. Wow, like, and now fast forward from the 60s and we're in 2018, and the idea and the concept of a military branch called the Space Force. I know the idea sounds silly, but just think about it. Think about it. Russia already has their own Space Force program. It's not called the Space Force exactly, but you know, we don't need to be behind. We need to be the first ones to grab hold of this frontier of space. Who knows what dimensions, what we're gonna find out? Like, who knows? It's always better to be prepared than to not be prepared at all, is what my grandma always used to say to me. Or she always still says to me. So let me not say that. But yeah, man, I think this is really great for America because it represents America so deeply if you think about it. Since we are dreamers, we're forgers. We love to dream big, honestly. that being said, let me know what you guys think about the Space Force to infinity and beyond.
This one goes out to all sides worldwide.